Hey there everyone, Meteorologist Kristin Walla here. Going to talk about the cold front coming in and the fire danger with it. I'm checking to make sure my audio works, letting more people join, and we'll get started here in a minute or so. Alrighty, so talking cold front coming in the next couple of hours, we're going to jump right on into that. So cold front currently up to the north of us through the DFW Metroplex, San Angelo area down into Marfa. It's moving a little bit slower than anticipated, so had to push back that time just a little bit. Here's a current look at where things stand in the coastal bend. We're in the 70s right now. Onshore winds bringing a lot of humidity in, so it's been pretty warm. It's been really sticky the last couple of days. We've either been in the upper 80s to low 90s. Yesterday set a high temperature record. That comes to an end heading into tonight. So here is the latest on that cold front timing. We've got about 3 to 5 o'clock for our northern counties. All I did was push this back just by 1 hour, so it's not that drastic of a change if you saw my social media post prior or you saw this on 3 News at 6 o'clock. So just 1 hour later, going with the most updated forecast models. Haven't really changed anything else about the forecast. High temperatures are still expected to go from the 90s today into the 70s tomorrow and into the 60s by Monday. So we're not going to feel the full force of this cold front really until Monday. We will get some significant relief from the heat and the humidity tomorrow, but it'll be even cooler heading into Monday. But the main thing, the main talking point, if you will, other than the temperatures with this front is going to be the elevated fire danger. So as soon as this front comes through, you're going to notice it. You're going to hear the trees outside kind of blowing around in these strong winds. Sustained winds are expected to be anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour and gusts upwards of 35 to 40. So a pretty strong front in terms of not only the temperature drop, but the winds, the wind speeds as well. So you can see that front moving through, and the wind gust forecast at Sunday 9 o'clock, so tomorrow morning up in Beeville, nearly a 40-mile-per-hour gust. And usually gusts are a little bit stronger closer to the coast. There's less friction over the water as compared to land. So that's kind of where I'm expecting the higher gusts to be tomorrow, but generally that 40-mile-per-hour range is what we're looking at. So not only are we going to see these really strong wind gusts tomorrow, we're also at the same time going to be seeing our humidity levels take a nosedive. So 10 to 20% relative humidity. That at the same time as these really strong winds is what's giving us that fire danger heading into tomorrow. And I know this graphic says Saturday. Our graphics get wonky at the end of the day when these forecasts get updated. This is Sunday's forecast, so just ignore the fact that it says Saturday. You can see that it has extreme fire weather across most of our northern counties and even down a little bit into San Patricio County. Very high fire danger, that orangish, pink, salmon, whatever you want to call it, color, pretty much the rest of the coastal bend, and high fire danger down to our south. So pretty much everyone is expected to see fire danger for tomorrow. So here's what that evolution, that forecast looks like over the next couple of days. Tomorrow you can see in comparison just how high it is compared to Monday and even to Tuesday. It's in this extreme category because, again, any fires that start, any sparks that catch something on fire, those fires can start very quickly and spread very rapidly. So that is what we're trying to guard against and try to get everyone to not do any outdoor burning or spark producing activities. So winds tomorrow, I already went over 20 to 25 miles per hour, gusts to 40, and with those relative humidity values down in the teens and 20s, very easy for those fires to start and spread. Heading into Monday, the relative humidity is still on the lower side, but with the winds not as strong, you can really see that reduction to the high category, basically, for Monday's fire danger, and even lower heading into Tuesday. Even though the gusts Monday and Tuesday are still around 25 miles per hour, decent wind gust, the relative humidity going up, especially into Tuesday, that's going to help bring the fire danger back down. And that's from high pressure coming in, giving us really nice weather heading into tomorrow and Monday. As it moves east, it sends onshore winds back into the coastal bend, making us warmer and more humid again. So we do have a weather impact alert for tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And this is in line, and I'll show you in just a second, with the red flag warnings for the entirety of the coastal bend, and really a lot of South Texas is under one of those red flag warnings, or fire weather warnings, if you don't know what that is, for tomorrow. And again, we keep saying it over and over, it's because it's going to be very dry and very windy, so these fires can start quickly, spread easily, so just try to avoid any outdoor burning. I'm sure we've got burn bans still going on. We're in a drought right now, severe and moderate drought across the coastal bend. All of these factors just kind of come together and compound to make any fires that happen spread very quickly and very easily. We had another weather impact alert a couple days ago, I think it was late last week, where those cotton bales caught on fire and they spread very, very quickly. Same kind of weather setup heading into tomorrow. So make sure you're disposing of cigarettes properly, not parking your hot motor in your car on top of tall, dry grass. Don't let chains drag behind your car if you're driving down the road. That'll send sparks into the ditch. So don't do any of those things. Here's a look at the red flag warning for tomorrow. As I said, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. basically all day long. Once that front comes in and the humidity starts to take a nosedive and the winds pick up, that's what this is for. Now, on top of that, if you have any plans closer to the coast, I mentioned that's where we usually see a little bit of stronger winds. We also have some gale and small craft advisories, watches out currently, and these are going to run through part of Monday. The timing differs a little bit, and we could see the gale watch get elevated to a warning, but we'll have to wait on that. But anyway, if you have plans to head down to the coast tomorrow, you may want to push those back, but if you are getting out on the water, please make sure you are wearing your life vest. The bays and waters are expected to be pretty rough. Winds on the water expected to be 20 to 30 knots, and that's not gusts, that's sustained wind. Out ahead of the front right now, we are still pretty warm and humid. Visibilities are okay here, but you can see up to our northeast. Let me see if I can move this, and I can tell you where that is. So up towards Brazoria County, and I think that's Matagorda County. My geography is failing me for a second. But anyway, they have some patchy fog up there. We're going to see some of that fog form down here across the coastal bend. And we've seen that the past couple of mornings because our winds typically die down heading into the overnight hours, and that calmness along with the humidity and the clear skies, all of those things come together to give us that patchy fog. Or this morning, it didn't look quite so patchy. It was pretty much everywhere. And it was actually pretty dense this morning, so we could expect more of that heading into tonight ahead of the front. But once that front comes through, it's actually going to help to clear it out pretty quickly because, as I've been saying, ahead of the front, it's calmer and it's more humid. Behind that front, the dry air and the strong wind is going to help kick that fog out of here. So if you're in the southern half of the coastal bend and you're an early riser, there still may be some of that fog lingering around if you're heading out the door super early, but I think for our northern counties, it looks a little bit better. And as I mentioned, did push back the frontal passage, the timeline, just by an hour or so to where it's still getting out of here around sunrise. By tomorrow morning, temperatures not really responding all that much, at least in the morning, to this front. We'll also see an increase in cloud cover as that front rolls through, and a couple of stray showers you can see there on Futurecast, mainly towards the coast. I don't really anticipate a lot of people seeing rain heading into tomorrow morning, but that chance is there, and it's mainly towards the coast. Temperatures tomorrow morning will wake up in the lower 60s, I think. A couple of places closer to the mid, maybe some upper 60s down to the south where that front hasn't passed through yet. But we will start to notice that front by tomorrow afternoon, at least for the high temperatures, and aside from the wind and the drier air, we'll be in the 70s. I don't think we're gonna hit the 80-degree mark tomorrow, so that will be really, really nice. And we will notice some of the clouds, I think, trying to hang on through the afternoon, especially across our southern communities, and then those clouds trying to move out of here as we head into Sunday night and Monday morning. So by the time Monday morning rolls around, we're still a little bit breezy, but the skies are clear. The humidity is very low still. That's going to help our temperatures drop back down into the 40s. And then by Monday afternoon, we still have those northerly winds bringing in cooler air. That means we're going to see our first afternoon in the 60s since early April. It's going to feel really, really nice outside. Some folks who get cold easy, like myself, you may want a jacket or a hoodie if you're heading outside and you get cold really easy. So it's gonna be really nice on Monday. Heading into Tuesday though, we are gonna see those temperatures start to go back up. Tuesday morning will be a little cooler, but Tuesday afternoon we start to get warmer. And then from Tuesday afternoon to Wednesday morning, not really that much of a change in our temperatures. So I'm gonna take a pause right here real quick. I'm gonna leave you with this wind speed relative humidity forecast. I'm going to scroll through comments, see if there's any questions I can answer right now before I pick back up, and I can jump around to my graphics if need be. Sometimes I have a hard time seeing comments, so if I miss your question or I don't answer it, it's not on purpose. But I'm not really seeing any in regards, it says there's 8 comments. Maybe that is. Okay. So picking back up, the humidity really going to drop off behind that front coming in, and the wind's going to really pick up. So these winds on here, these are sustained wind speeds. These are not the gusts. The gusts are going to be 5-10 miles per hour above that. So again, 35 to 40 mile per hour gusts. You combine that with these relative humidity values down in the teens and 20s. Fires are going to be able to spread really quickly. And by the way, this graph here is for Corpus Christi. If you're further inland, places like Alice, Freer, Benavides, the relative humidity there is typically a little bit lower when you're away from the coast and from the Gulf. That's where we're going to find those relative humidity values down in the teens. So for tomorrow morning, gonna kind of wrap up here, have to get ready for our 10 o'clock show. We do have football on though. I don't know at what point they're in, so I'll have to check on that. We may be going on a little bit late, but we're gonna start in the 60s heading into tomorrow when that cold front comes through, and you'll notice this kind of wide range on the wind speed here. That's because we're gonna start off pretty calm until that cold front comes through, 5 mile per hour winds or so, and then once that front comes through, it's really gonna knock our wind speeds up a bit to about 20 miles per hour, and then the gusts tonight getting upwards of 30 as we head into sunrise. By tomorrow afternoon, it's going to feel really nice outside, low humidity, sunshine peeking through some clouds, but temperatures staying what looks to be below 80 degrees for most places in the coastal bend. Again, going to be on the windy side, so if you have really long hair like me and it's going to blow all in your face, you probably want to tie it up or not wear lip gloss so it doesn't, get all caught in there. Anyway, life tips. 7-day forecast, we've got that weather impact alert for tomorrow. Monday, the coolest day since early April. Tuesday is Veterans Day, by the way, so thank you to any and all of those of you who have served. It's looking really, really nice for any of those outdoor ceremonies. I know that's a big thing here in the coastal bend for Veterans Day. I was talking with our anchor, Michael Gibson, after our show, and it always seems so hot or raining on Veterans Day, so it's going to be a really nice change of pace. Wind speeds gusting every once in a while to 25 miles per hour and staying relatively breezy throughout the end of the week. But you'll notice on Tuesday those southerly winds do come back, and that's why we're going to see not only our afternoon temperatures go up, but those mornings as well. You'll see the jump from the 40s Tuesday and Monday mornings back into the 60s as we head into Thursday and Friday. I'm going to do one last check of the comments, and if not, I don't see any new questions. So with that, I am going to leave y'all and go get ready for our 10 o'clock show. Y'all have a good evening.